Okay, that was aggressive. Anyway, just so you're all aware and give consent that you are being recorded right now, apparently. Um, so okay, I hope everybody has enjoyed June. I know just in hearing in conversation, one-to-one messages, kind of just in general observation, I think just or general conversation is that I think everybody's kind of feeling like what the heck is up with June? June is a really weird month. And I can echo that. I absolutely want to tell you that it's a valid like feeling that you're having. It's not just you, it's not just your team, it's not just a feeling you're having. I think it's very real and very legitimate. But I also kind of want to validate that I don't necessarily want you to dive too deeply into it, thinking it's a reflection of who you are, how good of a promoter you are, how good of a leader you are. I really do think that June was a rejuvenation period for a lot of us and a lot of new life and new inspiration growing inside of us. And I think that we're very community driven, but I definitely think that sometimes a lot of that community drive left a lot of us feeling individually depleted. I hope that's the right way to say it. I don't know if that's, but like in general, I think we care so much about one another and the team and where we're going in our trajectory and everything that it kind of took away from our focus on ourselves or our family or self-care, things like that. So I think it was really good for us to kind of pull back and find this balance. Did we pull back far and really hyper focus on ourselves? Absolutely. But I think it was needed. So I feel like, we've talked before, you have to be willing to lose to win. And it's almost kind of like you have to slow down to speed up. And I really do think that for a lot of us, this was our slow down moment to speed up. It was a lot of refocusing, a lot of, rejuvenating, a lot of just growth, a lot of inner growth. And I think that was really needed. So I kind of wanted to just in a blanket statement, just kind of validate a lot of people's experience with that. And I don't want you to kind of assume that the period you're in or the volume that you see in your back office or the PPA that you see is necessarily a reflection of how good of a promoter you are or leader you are. I really think that this was a time that a lot of us took to really kind of say, am I pouring into myself? Am I growing myself in order to be a better, team member, leader, promoter, whatever. So I just also want to tell you guys that you're doing that, like, not that you're doing a good job, but like kudos to you for doing that, like to everybody for doing that and taking the time and pouring into themselves. And I'm really happy that I see a lot of people doing that. And I know a lot of people are saying, I'm ready, I feel good. I'm ready to kind of come back in July. And I know that we're ready to come back with the same vigor and the same enthusiasm, but I think it's just going to look a little different. How we're going to show up. We've already talked about minimizing the Zooms down to, hey, sweetie, putting them down to 3 a week instead of all the ones that we had. Now, obviously, we had all those Zooms, not because people love taking time out of their day to host Zooms, but because they were in direct response to people asking for certain training. So, and that's very valid. And I think for us, we're trying to find this balance of training and equipping and allowing you to be more independently functioning, if that makes sense. So there are certain things that you will always have questions about. There are always things that you will not know that you will have to learn. Some of those things will be answered in training, but a lot of those things you will have to have kind of the fortitude to go figure out, to look up, to try. I asked her the other day in the Slack channel, what do you do when you can't figure out a problem? What's your go-to? How do you research? You go to Google, YouTube? Do you ask someone who's an expert? Do you go to Pinterest? What do you do? And so I think a lot of it is just going to be, instead of us saying, oh yeah, we'll totally do a Zoom on that, it might have to be that the answer is giving you a direction of where you can go find that answer, and we'll always try to do our best to equip you and train you and give you guys the best knowledge that we have. so it's going to be about 3 Zooms. Now that's not including any team Zooms you guys might have, or one-to-one coaching calls or Zooms. But we will have the Monday Zooms, the Monday training Zooms, Wednesday team huddles, these ones. And then on Thursdays, it'll be Alicia with a guest speaker. And we're going to try to really stick with that so that we're not sucking up a lot of people's time. But yeah, and just again, in general, is very much still a team, but it almost reminds me of this, like how we're still the United States, we're still America, but a lot of the states are very different, and how the states operate are very different. And that's just going to kind of be how Thrive Army is, I think, moving forward. As I think for so long, we thought, oh, in order for us to be, again, I'm going to use the idea of the United States, in order for us to be a country, we all have to kind of operate in the same way, and kind of do the same things and move in the same direction. It doesn't have to be that way. And I think a lot of us are kind of, just kind of realizing and understanding, saying, hey, you guys are all kind of like your own independent states, and you're free to kind of function as is. Now, I say this not because it's like Courtney giving away power that it's not mine to give, but essentially, oh, thank you, honey bun. What I'm basically saying is I'm saying it out loud and up front because I don't want to hear on the back end questions. I mean, not that I don't want to hear, but I don't want there to be questioning about, oh, they're just leaving us hanging kind of thing. I want to make my intentions anyway clear, that I'm not necessarily leaving people hanging and saying, oh, whatever, and leaving you to it. I'm just saying, you seem like you know what you're doing. You seem to have a great rhythm. You're doing what you feel works for you. And I'm just going to hands off. And when and if you need me, I am 100% here. So if it feels like I'm really hands off, it's not because I'm just like, oh, whatever, they got it, I don't even care. It's mainly like, I trust you guys. You're capable leaders. You've got it. When you need me, I'm here. So I guess that's kind of why I was saying it, because I don't want people to kind of just feel like I'm like throwing people to the wolves. I'm trying to read the room and understand feedback and just kind of say, okay, they seem like they've got it. Like, a mama hen just kind of being like, okay, they're 18, they're ready to leave the nest. Let them leave the nest. Yes, will they mess up? Maybe. Will they go be brain surgeons? Maybe. I don't know, but that's not my call, So I just want to let you guys know that I love you and fully support you guys. And I hope that that if you ever need anything, have any questions, literally anything, that my inbox is open and I am here. So that's kind of it for housekeeping stuff and just kind of general team news or updates or whatever. I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Mandy, because she is running a challenge for July that I think a lot of you guys are going to want to be a part of. She is super passionate about it. It's making me super passionate about it. She's doing her galvanizer thing and really hyping me up for it. So I know that she's going to do a really good job of doing it for you guys. So go ahead, Mandy. You can take her over.
All right, so for July, we are going to be doing a Reels challenge, and don't let that intimidate you. You guys, I was not one that was really excited about doing Reels or TikToks, but how many of you guys find that you can pass time scrolling through Reels and TikToks and you get caught up into it because it's short, sweet, catchy, and you can learn helpful tips, you can be entertained. There's so many different aspects of it. And right now, Instagram is really favoring Reels and TikTok is blowing up. And then it's also, people are sharing that content to Facebook and people are watching it on Facebook. So it's very binge-worthy content. So I created a separate Slack channel with our Thrive Army that you guys can go ahead and join. And then tomorrow I'll be posting a Trello board link. I have everything planned out and I can't take all the credit for this. I have a friend on Instagram and she started doing this 30-day Reel challenge. And she started off with a couple hundred followers. By day 30, she had over 12,000 followers. That's crazy. So I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. We are going to do the same challenge she did. But what I've done is I've put it all in Trello board. So it's nice and organized for you guys. You're going to have different ideas. You're going to see how she did the challenge. And then I've gone through and I collected several other people's doing that same trend. So you guys can get an idea. You guys can change up the sounds, make it your own. This is basically a framework for you to follow and have ideas. I also arranged it by week. So we're not all doing the same thing every single day. So it's going to be week 1. Here are seven different ideas for you to do, and you can pick what order you want to do them in. It's 30 days. July has 31 days. So tomorrow will kind of be housekeeping, kind of going over what it all is going to look like, give you kind of time to plan. And the nice thing about Reels is that you can batch content make it if you want. You can take 2 or 3 hours a week and get them all out of the way and then have something to post every single day. Or you could do it like me and try to make one every single day, drive yourself crazy. I don't recommend that, but sometimes it's what you have to do. So the other thing is that I wanted to address, why haven't you made a reel yet? Why haven't you made a TikTok yet? Is it because you are stuck? Is it because you don't know what to do? Or is it fear and nerves holding you back? I want to know why you guys haven't done it. I know for me, I'm going to be completely honest. I hated having my face in front of a camera. I thought, I can't dance. I'm like super awkward in like video. Like, yeah, I can take a picture and put a pretty, filter and preset on it, but like doing something with movement. And then I realized like that's all in my head. When you're scrolling through Reels, when you're scrolling through TikTok and you see a mom in leggings, messy bun up, and you see her mess around you, do you judge her for that? No, if anything, you relate to it. It attracts you to her. Your personality shines through on your Reels and on your TikTok, and that's going to bring your audience to you. My first reels, guys, are cringy, but I'm keeping them up because I want you to know we all have to start somewhere. For there to be growth, you have to begin. You can't grow and become better at something without actually starting. So I'm keeping my cringe ones up there for you guys to go see how bad I was and how much I'm growing in that. I told you guys at the beginning of this to have a piece of paper, and I want you to write this down, and you're going to hang it up somewhere that you're going to see every day. I know before I had a baby, I would hang stuff up on my mirror so I could see as I get ready. I don't look at my mirror a lot of days now, so now I have it by my bed. And I want you to write consistency over perfection. We always hear progress over perfection, but I want this to be consistency over perfection, because when you're consistent with someone, you're going to have that progress, and that's going to lead to you growing and being better. So throw out the progress over perfection, because the progress might take a while. I'm not going to lie, but consistency is key, especially with reels. The more you're consistent with creating content, you're putting out one thing every single day on your reels, you're going to see growth and you're going to improve your skill. So yeah, Slack channel, make sure you're added to that. You can join that tonight, and then I'll post the Trello stuff. And another thing is make sure your account is on public for Instagram. If it's on private, this challenge is 95% useless because only your followers are going to see it, and you might grow in your relationship with them, but that defeats the whole purpose. So if your account is not public and you're not willing to make it public, don't do the challenge because it's not going to help you. I'm just going to say it like that. And yeah, that's all I had to say. Is there any questions about anything?
You guys can also feel free to unmute at any time to ask questions. I don't want you guys to feel like you have to do the chat. This is more like a round table, so you're more than welcome to unmute and say anything. But the reels are like ideas, right? They're like prompts. Like we did a live challenge, oh my gosh, a couple months ago, and it was like, do a live about your favorite childhood memory. It would do a live about your favorite recipe, do a live about something like that. Or are they like specific reels
I
that are like viral?
Give you a few examples. So it's going to be a variety of like stuff you can use for Thrive, and then stuff you can use for your own personality. It can be funny stuff. So it's going to be a variety of things, but it's more based on like the trending sound, although you can mix it up if you want. But it's basically just ideas. And then what I've done with her ideas, like you said, it could be show your audience something you bought for your business, show your products or something related to the service you do, and then it has the sound. Then what I've done is I have her example, and then I went and found other people that use that sound and created their own spin on it. So there's going to be at least 3 to 4 different TikToks or reels that you can watch to kind of spark that creativity. And like I said, nothing is set in stone with this challenge. If you guys want to add a different sound, go ahead. If you think, oh, well, this sparks this idea, then do that. I don't want cookie cutter, perfect copy and paste on this. You're supposed to be original. Show your personality on it. So
No, yeah, absolutely. I love that. I love that you give the viral sound with it, like the suggestion, because I think most people either they're not consuming enough or they consume it, they don't get it. And I was the same way. Like when I watched TikTok, I just watched it and I was like, wow, they're all using this, it all is the same song, and I never kind of thought like, oh, when I create one, I should create it with this sound too. So I think there's a lot of kind of like with Instagram and hashtags and geotagging, there's a lot of things that really help get you noticed that most people just don't understand. It's more than a great caption and a great photo, and so that might also be it, is when people post reels, they just don't get a lot of views or whatever, and they get really discouraged. And so I think a lot of it is knowing some of the behind the scenes stuff, like, understanding the hashtags, understanding the trending audios. And so it's super helpful that that is in there, you guys. So I would definitely take advantage of this challenge. It's not a challenge like we typically do. It's not like, oh, a 3 strikes kind of thing. It's just literally almost like the 75 hard. You guys do it if you want to, you don't, it's just there to help you grow, to give you ideas. If you want to do it for the full 30 days, great. If you want to just use the Trello board to make them as you wish, go for it. But I've seen so many people do this. I see the Johnsons, so Shalene and Brock Johnson do them, and they're like huge on Instagram. And they do network marketing as well. And they often do 30-day reels challenge. And they were talking about how each of their accounts grew exponentially. They did. I know Chris is a part of the InstaHub Club. And I'm not sure if they ran it in there, but they do a lot of these challenges, the 30-day reels challenge, with their audience. And they did a lot of analytics and insights and just showed how much their just their following and their reach increased exponentially. And so I think it's really good. And you can do them for reels. You can do them for TikTok if you wish. I see Renee said she doesn't use TikTok. That's fine. You can do them for reels on Instagram. I know a lot of people don't have TikTok, or maybe they don't have an Instagram, but they do have TikTok, whichever. It kind of operates the same way. I don't think you covered this, Mandy, but I'm sure you might in the challenge. Is the one thing you don't want to do is create it on TikTok and then put that TikTok on Instagram as a reel, because it will limit your reach and it will not read it as a reel, and you will not. So you will have to make them in like separate kind of platforms, or you'll have to get creative with it if you make it in TikTok, and then you'll have to enlarge, get rid of the watermark and all this other stuff. So
yeah, I found out a way you can save what you've created on Instagram before publishing it, and it saves it as a saved video, so it doesn't have any of the watermarks or anything. And then I upload that saved content to TikTok as like a separate video. But yeah, I'll go over more of that stuff. In the Slack channel, I have a bunch of videos that I'm making with like different tips and tricks, or like how to's that you guys can utilize. It's not going to be an everyday thing, because I know I'm not going to be able to stick with that and creating reels. But it'll have a bunch of different tips, and feel free to ask questions in there, and I'll answer them as soon as possible. So, Sue Ellen, did you have something you want to say?
Yeah, I was just going to ask, like, for the people on our teams that aren't on, is there a way for us to share like what you're doing, that they know like a link to go to for your Slack channel or something?
The Slack channel should be on Thrive Army. So when you go to your homepage, you'll see the channels, and it'll have the Thrive Army community. If you hit the little plus sign next to it, it'll be on there to join. And then I'll be making a video tomorrow and putting it in the Slack channel that goes over everything, as well as sharing the Trello board. Like I said, tomorrow we have kind of a freebie day. This is a 30-day challenge, and July has 31 days. So tomorrow, if they're not on this training, they'll be able to go over it in depth on there.
Yeah, if you guys go into your Slack channel, either on your app or on your phone, and you can't see the July Reels challenge right here. So like sorry, I have like that thing, but like under your groups or your channels right here, I can see the July one. If you guys don't have it, let us know. You will have to be in the Slack channel in order for us to send it to you via the Slack channel. So there's that part. And I had something else I was going to say, and then I totally just forgot, but that's okay. Does anyone have any questions? So I think Mandy will drop the link, the invite link maybe to add people. I can also add you guys as well from here. I'm not going to add people unless they tell me they want to be added. So you might have to say explicitly, add me. So Rachel just said that. I saw Renee raise her hand. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I can definitely do that as well. But I'm feeling Jordan. Okay. Courtney. Okay. I'm feeling really good about July. I feel like a lot of us are in a great headspace, a clearer headspace. A lot of us are more focused, more intentional. You know, I know I personally feel that way. I definitely don't want to speak for everybody, but sorry, I'm trying to go through and make sure people are added. Does anyone have anything they want to add as far as, even if it feels unrelated, if you just want to talk, say something, make it anything, you're more than welcome to. Courtney, Jordan. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I get everybody. Brittany. Okay. I don't want to miss somebody. But all right, I also don't want to keep you guys on longer than we have to for the, you know, shits and giggles. If we're all done, we're all done. Just want to let you guys know I love you. We will be starting our new Zoom schedule next week. So Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 6 p.m. Central. And we will also, we put out the schedule on the Slack channel. I'll also probably put it up on the Facebook group. If you guys are not in the Slack channel, and you want to be, let me know, because that's mainly where we do a lot of the day-to-day communications. Again, just like we did with the chats, there's lots of things that don't go up on the Facebook group simply because it just makes the Facebook group really busy. And then the Facebook group will become what the chat was, and people will lose stuff. And we don't want that. We don't want to, you know, trade one for the other. So I often don't post everything, just because I try to limit how kind of polluted it can get if we add all that stuff. So if no one has anything, I will let you guys go. Thank you so much, Mandy, for putting in the hard work to put this together. I really appreciate that. I look forward to seeing you guys all in it. And oh, I know what I was gonna say now. I'm saying your reels, but it was basically commit and tell yourself that you're probably gonna suck in the beginning. Just like get it out of the way and be like, I'm probably gonna suck. It's probably gonna be super cringy and awful, and I'm gonna be super awkward, but I'm gonna get better. You know, and just tell yourself that, because I think when you expect yourself to show up in a specific way and then you don't show up that way, you get really discouraged and feel like maybe it's not for you or whatever. So it's almost like when you start going to the gym again, or you start running again or whatever, it's like, I'm not going to have the same time. I'm not going to have the same strength. I'm not going to, but I'm going, you know, like Manny said, this consistency over perfection. So just commit to doing the full 30 days. Know that you're going to probably suck at first and not be that great, but you're eventually going to get better. And it will be so cool to look back on your very first one and your very last one and compare and be like, wow, I got so much better. So I really encourage you guys to do that as well. But I'll go ahead and let you guys go. I love you so much. And it's the end of the month. As always, go strong. I know we have some people closing out some ranks, so we're still going to be here doing that. And then we're going to start July off with an absolute bang. So love you guys. Bye.